Good afternoon. In the studios of the Grenada Broadcasting Network, the time has moved on to exactly 5 minutes gone past 12. It's time now for the luncheon edition of news for today, Tuesday, April 21st, 2026. Coming up in the news, Grenada Tourism Authority monitoring global threats to the cruise and aviation industries, and La Luna Hotel launches scholarship to support future chefs in Grenada. In the region, a autopsy report revealed that the police corporal in Trinidad and Tobago died as a result of strangulation and blunt force trauma. On the international front, U.S. President Donald Trump said he does not plan to extend the 2-week ceasefire. And in sport, Scorpions all-rounder calls for patient bowling approach versus pride. We have details of these plus other stories when we return. The first segment of the news comes to you compliments Brighton and Miners.
Fire up the coals, bring the flavor. It's time to crown the King of the Grill. Maggie King of the Grill 2026 is calling you. Think you got the creativity, the skills, and the fire to rule the grill? This is the ultimate showdown for chefs, backyard masters, and the food lovers alike. Step up, show your talent, and claim your spot among the best. With over $5,000 in cash and prizes to be won. The stakes has never been hotter. Happening Saturday, May the 30th. Register now. Call or WhatsApp 407-8458. But hurry, registration close April the 30th. Don't wait.
With the details, I am Christlina John. Chairman of the Grenada Tourism Authority, Rondell Dolan, says the island is closely monitoring global challenges affecting the tourism industry, particularly cruise ship arrivals. However, he notes that Grenada has not been directly impacted at this time.
So to the point is that, right now we're looking at the threat that exists geopolitically, especially with the issue in Iran. A lot of cruise ships may be assessing, does it make sense to come that far south? They're even assessing their fuel supply. Thus far, we have not been affected by that.
Dolan adds that authorities are also keeping a close watch on air travel as part of broader efforts to safeguard the sector.
They're saying that Europe has 2 more weeks of fuel left, and today is April 18th. 2 more weeks of fuel gets us to the beginning of May, essentially, right? Give or take. That's a threat, because if you close down, the sky bridges, that's a problem. And it's a problem for trade, it's a problem for economic growth and development, especially if there's war in the Middle East. They're hitting oil tanks, LNG tanks, because a lot of the cruise ships use LNG right now to sail. Everyone has to start reassessing itineraries.
He further emphasized the importance of direct engagement with cruise executives, highlighting Grenada's offerings, including new sites and attractions, as well as ongoing initiatives in community-based tourism.
We let them know that Grenada is serious about this industry. We're serious about professionalizing. We're serious about ensuring the economic viability of the destination, even though we're further south. And that really keeps them engaged, so that, when they start looking at the itinerary, their visitors, their clients want to go to Grenada. So they can't cut Grenada. We have to make Grenada disposable. And into the diaspora, focusing on our own people having to come back, because you have a natural tie back to Grenada, is why that's important to keep these engagements going and building more product to attract more people into Grenada. So we're always focused on that. We're always focused on mitigating threats and issues. So we've been, doing that, and we will pay attention to what's happening, industry trends. So we'll always try to remain a step ahead as much as we can to, mitigate any risk.
Moving on, the Division of Youth hosted a boys' empowerment workshop aimed at building confidence, character, and essential life skills among young men. It involved young men from the Hillsborough Secondary and Bishop's College on the Sister Isles of Carriacou. The sessions, organized under the Ministry of Carriacou and Petty Martinique Affairs and Local Government, created a safe and supportive space for participants to learn and grow. Facilitated by Neil Chaitan and Enoch Kado of Thy Kingdom Come Deliverance Sanctuary, the workshop was held under the theme, Lead Yourself First. Dr. Chaitan emphasized the challenges boys face in today's changing world, noting the need for strong guidance and positive role models.
So today our workshop is about boys leading themselves. You see, I tell young men that they should be leaders, and somebody said to me, well, Dr. Chaitin, if everybody are leaders, then who's going to be followers, right? I'm simply saying that if you don't have anybody to lead, then lead yourself. One of the things we did was ask them to introduce themselves. Stand up assertively, tell me your name, and give me one good thing about yourself. A virtue, not I can play football or I'm a good cook. No, tell me, I'm honest, I'm friendly. And it was amazing to hear your boys, Carriacou and Petit Martinique, to hear your boys that you probably had your own ideas about as they talk about themselves. So we build them from the ground up. Another thing we stress on is the use of weapons. We also spoke about sexual decisions. We went down on this one.
Dr. Chaitin says that both teachers and parents do have a responsibility to support the young men.
I was hoping that there would be some kind of survey, but even if there's a survey to kind of grade the impact, that is just today. And as you said, we go back to the normal setting. And that's why we have talked to moms and dads and guardians and teachers too, right? Because they're coming back to you. Even if we pump them up and with all that inspiration, that will just evaporate if they go back into a situation that demands the same traditional answer, right? So moms and dads, we expect when your boy come home and he tells you about what he learned, that you are going to support that. You're going to realize, I have a boy here, I have a son who want to change. And so I must, help support that. Teachers too. Your boys are coming back to your school. Hey, you might have a profile on a boy and say, well, he's a troublesome boy, but you never know, today might be his day, right? Treat him differently. Give him the opportunity to strive.
Spiritual development was also a central focus, with Pastor Kado encouraging participants to stay grounded in faith, reminding them that boys who pray can grow into men who lead. Meanwhile, the Division of Youth continues its wider outreach with an anti-bullying campaign currently being rolled out in schools, promoting respect and safety for all students. Still on the Sister Isle, more than 20 residents of Carriacou and Petit Martinique are now better equipped with leadership skills following a two-day training for transformation workshop. The program was organized by the Division of Youth with the Ministry of Carriacou and Petit Martinique Affairs and the local government. The workshop was facilitated by former parliamentarian and motivational speaker Joan Purcell, with focus on building leadership capacity through both theory and hands-on training. Purcell says the goal is to develop a group of young adults who are empowered to lead transformation, not only in their personal lives, but also within their families, communities, and the wider nation. The initiative is being seen as a key investment in the next generation, helping to ensure that future leaders across the Tri Island state are equipped with the confidence and values needed to drive meaningful change. And finally, on the local front, La Luna Boutique Hotel and Villas is giving back to the community by launching a new scholarship for young Grenadian chefs. The Albert Paul La Luna Chef Forever Scholarship is named after the late chef Albert Paul, who spent 18 years working at La Luna, moving from dishwasher to head chef through hard work and dedication. The scholarship will support one student from the T.A. Marshall Community College every year, starting in August of 2026. The winner will receive EC $5,000 per year for 2 years to study culinary arts and will take part in a 6-week internship at La Luna's kitchen. The college will select the student through its internal committee. La Luna says the new scholarship honors Chef Albert's legacy and aims to encourage the next generation of chefs in Grenada. And that's the local segment. Do stay with us. The original highlights are up next.
My name is Tanisha Masha from Gulf St. John's. For the past 15 years, I've been listening to Classic and Hot FM. The best news station ever. Kudos to GBN.
GBN, with you anywhere and everywhere.
Thanks for staying with us. And now for a regional outlook. Autopsy report revealed that the police corporal in Trinidad and Tobago died as a result of strangulation and blunt force trauma. We have details of this and other stories in today's regional news roundup from the OCM News Network. This segment of the news, the second segment, comes to your compliments, Fortune Foods Limited.
My name is Lenny Tobias of Guava State. I listen to GBN 12 o'clock in the day, 7 o'clock in the night, and big up GBN.
GBN, with you anywhere and everywhere.
The police corporal killed while at her workplace in South Trinidad is reported to have died after being bludgeoned and strangled. Police Commissioner Alistair Guevara yesterday said 3 people detained in connection with last Sunday's assault, which took place at the San Fernando City Corporation's Municipal Police Station, have been released. Guns and ammunition were also stolen. Commissioner Guevara said, contrary to earlier reports, Acting Corporal Anushka Eversley was not shot.
The cause of death has been determined as strangulation, accompanied by blunt force and sharp force traumatic injuries to the body. What was initially suspected to be a gunshot wound has now been clarified by the forensic pathologist's findings. At present, 6 men between the ages of 16 and 33 are in custody. 2 women and 1 male detainee who were held yesterday have since been released. As inquiries progress, further changes in persons in custody are expected.
He said the police service has already retrieved 38 guns stolen from the municipal station, a submachine gun, 1 shotgun, 1 revolver, and 35 pistols.
The TTPS is actively pursuing several interventions aimed at not only the San Fernando Municipal Police, but across the wider municipal service. These measures will seek to address existing gaps and implement significant changes to safeguard against reoccurrences of this nature. Immediate reforms are being introduced to strengthen firearms storage and ensure strict adherence to relevant policies and standing orders.
Earlier yesterday, the TTPS in a statement said those detained include 2 municipal police officers, 2 females and 2 other males. According to Commissioner Guevara, the investigation continues apace, and at present, 6 men between the ages of 16 and 33 are in custody. 2 women and 1 male detainee who were held yesterday have since been released as inquiries progress. And in Barbados, the government has issued a very strong warning following a deadly shooting which has intensified concerns about escalating violence. In a statement yesterday, Minister of Legal Affairs and Criminal Justice, Michael Lashley, lamented what has been taking place across the country. He warned that apparent gang-related retaliation has gotten out of control. He reaffirmed government's full confidence in the Barbados Police Service and signaled that security forces will be empowered to use all lawful measures to restore order and bring those responsible to justice.
The Barbados Police Service is actively pursuing its investigations into this matter and will continue that work with focus and urgency in order to bring those responsible to justice. At the same time, it is clear that this apparent state of war between certain gangs of young men has gotten out of control, with retaliation and reprisal now the order of the day.
The minister insisted efforts are being made to protect members of the public.
We will not tolerate this behavior. Let the word go out that from this moment, the police and other national security forces will be empowered to use every lawful means at their disposal to bring this situation under control and bring it to an end. I urge every law-abiding Barbadian who love this country to stand with the police service in this effort.
The minister extended condolences to the families of those killed and injured.
Have you heard about the new software?
Welcome back, and now for a look further afield. U.S. President Donald Trump has accused Iran of violating a ceasefire agreement ahead of a second round of talks between the two countries in Pakistan. Trump has so far said he does not plan to extend the 2-week ceasefire, which runs out on Wednesday.
Donald Trump said that Iran had violated the ceasefire numerous times, but without giving details. That deadline is due to expire on Wednesday, without any clear decision on whether it will be extended or whether a deal can be done with Iran in time. That seems increasingly unlikely, with no confirmation from the Iranians that they plan to meet the U.S. delegation, headed up by Vice President J.D. Vance, who is due to travel to Pakistan on Tuesday. Also, the Pentagon has said that it has boarded a sanctioned tanker. Posting videos on social media of an operation in the Indo-Pacific, it says, to disrupt vessels providing support to Iran.
According to reports, India and the U.S. could be closing in on a trade pact. As delegations from both sides meet in Washington this week, the two sides announced a bilateral trade agreement in February last year, but differences over tariffs and market access have slowed progress. Here's details in this FSN report.
A trade deal between India and US was thrown into fresh uncertainty after US Supreme Court turned over President Donald Trump's reciprocal tariffs earlier this year. Analysts say this has given New Delhi fresh ammunition to push for a bargain. India's Commerce Minister Piyush Goyal says he's pushing for greater market access, while US says it wants to bring down average tariffs on US exports to India.
And now for your sporting highlights. Well, all-rounder Odin Smith says the Jamaica Scorpions must adapt a more patient bowling strategy as they push for a first innings advantage against Barbados Pride in the West Indies Championship clash. At a close of a rain-affected second day at Sabina Park, Barbados Pride reached 125 for 1 in reply to Jamaica's 457. Craig Braffith was unbeaten on 51, with Jonathan Drakes on 17. Play was set to resume at 9:30 this morning. Well, Smith, who scored a quick fire 54, admitted that the Scorpions fell short with the ball, allowing the visitors to build momentum. Earlier, Barbados all-rounder Shamar Springer led a strong bowling effort, helping restrict Jamaica after they have been well-placed at 331 for 3. In response, Pride openers Brathwaite and Shane Mosley put on a solid 105-run stand before Mosley was dismissed for 53. Rain interrupted and cut play shot in the afternoon, leaving Barbados in a steady position heading into day 3. And that's your sporting highlights. Do stay with us for a recap of the headlines when we come back. Recapping the headlines that made the news today, Grenada Tourism Authority monitoring global threats to the cruise and aviation industries, and La Luna Hotel launches scholarship to support future chefs in Grenada. In the region, autopsy report revealed that the police corporal in Trinidad and Tobago died as a result of strangulation and blunt force trauma. On the international front, U.S. President Donald Trump said he does not plan to extend the 2-week ceasefire. And in sport, Scorpion all-rounder calls for patient bowling approach versus prime. This has brought us to the end of the luncheon edition of news for today, Tuesday, April 21st, 2026. On behalf of the entire news team, I've been your presenter, Christlina John, thanking you for having joined us.